Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my August TBR. I can't believe it's going to be August soon and it is just unbelievable. August is obviously the summer holidays, so I will be with the children pretty much all of it. It's either going to be children or work. There is no break literally. So and I'm working throughout the summer holidays. Oh, the joys. But I will get through it. We've got a couple of, for us, August has multiple things for me. The 1st of August, it would have been my dad's birthday. And that is an emotional day. I think how old he would have been, like he would have been 75 this year. And I think of him and it does bring a slight tear to my eye because obviously I still miss him. We always used to have family barbecues for his birthday and it's got a lot of happy memories. On the other side, it's Jack's birthday at the start of August, so that's one of my best friends, so that's a reason to celebrate. On the day of the 1st of August, I got a hospital phone appointment, so I was going to be like, yay, my chronic pain's doing really well, and the heat wave's just killing it. The day that I'm filming this is the 18th of July, and it's one of the hottest days of the year. It's very hot, as you can see. I'm wearing my dress, so I'm all like hot and bothered. I thought I'd film this very early. We've also got, we're going to be hopefully going to Marlborough Zoo, we're going to take the kids to fruit picking, we're going to go to Windsor or Henley, just have some nice day trips, but reading is going to be a case of when I can. I've not picked too many really challenging books for August. I thought, to be honest, I've got quite a lot of books. I think I've got 18 or 19. My massive TBR, I think that's going to be the title of the book, another massive TBR, another big one, because I've got a massive TBR, but it's books that I've picked that are really sort of summary or books that are going to be good to read, books that I really want to read in August because I know that I will not be able to focus as much. I think I've only got, if you don't count Anne of Greengate and my Anna long book, I think I've only got one other classic and I'm reading that over 2 months, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So I've not got any books that are really going to challenge my brain because I don't think I'd be able to focus on that. So otherwise this video is going to be too long. I will show you my buddy read books, then I will get this TBR jar over and done with, because let's be honest, last month it was pants. It did not do well. I think you would have seen on my wrap up part 1, it did not go well. So I'm hoping the TBR jar is going to be nice to me. I said this one I'm going to pick, and then the kids will probably be in some of my August videos because obviously I'm going to be looking after them. And maybe at the start of September, although I've tried to pre-film quite a lot so I don't have too many videos to film in August. So the first book, actually, let me just I am organised, really I am. Right, so the first buddy read book is The Unhoneymooners by Christine Lauren, which is, I believe, a dual author. And I'm buddy reading this with Gemma, who was Read a Book Gem. She's Read a Book Gem on Instagram, so that's where you check her out now. And this is Two Sworn Enemies. Anything can happen during a Hawaiian trip of a lifetime. Olive is always unlucky. Her identical twin sister Amy, on the other hand, is possibly the luckiest person in the world. While she is about to marry her dream man, Olive is forced to play nice with her nemesis, the best man, Ethan. Yet Olive's luck may be on the turn. When an entire wedding party, except for Olive and Ethan, get food poisoning, there's an all-expensive paid honeymoon in Hawaii up for grabs. Putting their mutual hatred aside, Olive and Ethan head for paradise. But when Olive runs into a future boss, the little white lie she tells him spirals out of control. Looking forward to this. It'll be a really good fun one. Don't know exactly when I'm going to read it with her, but I think towards the start of the month might be quite good with that one. I haven't set dates on planning this. Then I'm on the penultimate book of the Percy Jackson series, which you know I'm buddy reading with Gaia from Gaia Athena. This is the penultimate one, and it's The Battle of the Labyrinth. I got it mixed up last time. This is the one before, and it's he's going to I've had my share of near-death disasters. Now my arch-enemy Luke wants to invade our camp via an ancient labyrinth. If he succeeds, thousands of bloodthirsty monsters will attack. So it's goodbye sunshine, hello darkness, as for the 4 of us descend into the terrifying underground and beyond. It's not a long book, it's quite short, but this is one I'm definitely going to save for the end of the holidays. I hope Guy doesn't mind that, because I like reading these at the end of the month, because I know they're going to be, I know they're great books and I know they're great fun. So obviously, before I forget, I am redoing my Tudor along book, which is I'm still going to read the second half of Anne Boleyn, which I can't wait for. I'm loving reading that. I will actually, as much as I say, oh yeah, I'm reading, I'll probably read it in the first half of the month because I want to finish it. And then the book that I'm reading over 2 months, I'm reading in August and September, is The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope, which I'm buddy reading with the lovely Charlie from Charles Heathcote. This is a massive book. Actually, it looks massive, but it's actually only like 761 pages. So we'll split this in half and then read half it in August and half it in thingy. It's one of my BookTube besties, Gemma, got me for my birthday this year. And oh, yeah, I know I'm going to love this. I love Anthony Trollope's work. I love buddy reading with Charlie because Charlie brings so much amazing insight into the books. And I know I'm going to love it. So I can't wait to page this up and talk to Charlie and set that up. Now let's go for the TBR jar. I'm scared. I'm absolutely petrified. There's only, because I always have an extra book, so I will get a surprise. So there's 6 books left, even though it's only 5 months. Closing my eyes, guys. Oh, have I got one? You've got one. I'm scared. Yes, I got my contemporary. The only contemporary that's on there. 1,000 Reads Home. The TBR jar has been nice to me. I thank you, TBR jar. It's also the one that's right down the bottom of the book pile, but it is great. This is by Calma Harrington. This is one I've wanted, actually. I really wanted it. It's a contemporary, so an extra contemporary. One of the longer ones, 400 odd pages, but it is. So this basically has got Cecilia Ahern and Marion Keyes have both commented on it, which has got to be a good thing. Meet Tom. That's not Thomas's name. Or Dr. O'Grady, as he used to be called. When you pass him on the street, most people don't even give him a second glance. You see, Tom isn't living his best life. Burdened by grief, he's only got his loyal dog Betty Davis for company and a rucksack containing his whole world. Meet Ruth. Ruth and her son DJ have no longer have a place to call home, but Ruth believes that things can change. You can change the world by helping one person at a time, and Tom needs her help. Everyone feels an outsider at some point in their lives. This is the book that will make you feel like you belong. I love the TBR jar. It smashed it out of the park. I'm keeping this on my lap so I remember to put it as my TBR jar pick. But yay! TBR jar did good! Whoop whoop! Whoop whoop! Yeah, I get a bit excitable. So I'm actually, even though I put them on the other pile, I'm now going to actually show you my series books. First of all, I've got the last in the Anne of Green Gables series. I'm crying. And you will, any one of us that are continuing with this series, a lot of people have given up, but Willow of Ingleside is the last book in the series, and it is the one that will make everyone cry. It's basically Anne's youngest daughter is the main character in this, Rilla, and there is her brothers go off to war in this book, and they don't necessarily all come back. It's very emotional. Anne is really torn in this book, and it's like Rilla is almost 15 and she has some events that happen that changes her, and it is a book that will make you cry. It is probably the most emotional out of all the books, and I've just been told by Amazon that will just arrive, so I'm going to go look at that. But anyway, this is one that's going to make everyone cry, so that's it. Then we've got the next in the Nightingale Nursery series. Again, I can't tell you too much about this because it is the 7th, I think, in the series. The Nightingales under Mistletoe, and I'm not going to tell you what's happened, but yeah, I can't really tell you too much because it is so late in the series, but it's got Millie, Jess and Effie are on this, and they're the lead characters in this. Millie is from the first book. Jess, I think, is from Jess is from the second book, and Effie's from the second or third book. And there's a sticker on this, and yeah, it's it looks very, very, very emotional. The back of the book, I can't really, like I said, can't really tell you too much about this, but Millie's story is going to probably break me, so yeah, I'm going to put that there and I'm going to be prepared to cry my eyes out on that. So they are the series books. If I get a chance, page 2 and second and third book I will be reading if I get a chance, but I haven't got them on, I don't have them at the moment, so I'm hoping I get them. If not, I may read them at a different time. It's not urgent. Then I've got my book I'm next going to show you, which is going to be a book that I'm going to be vlogging throughout August, because it is a book on Henry VIII, and it's probably my biggest in the shelves. It is the 6 Wives of King Henry VIII. I've had this for the longest. You would have seen about it on the car boot haul. That yeah, I've had this. I think it's one of my first car boot haul, and I've spoken to my lovely BookTube best friend on the Tudor Along group, and we discussed it, and we said basically in the Tudor Along group, Oh, Mia was reading this, so Mia's got her bookmark in this, and it basically does talk about, it's a non-fiction on all of the queens. What I've done is I've split up into 4 weeks for the 4 weeks of the month, and I'm going to be vlogging as I go along, and it's got a detailed look at each of the queens, and it's got different chapters. So the first week I'll be reading up to part 2, the rival queens, divorcing Catherine, Anne Boleyn and Jane Seymour. So it's the end of Catherine up to the start of Anne Boleyn and Jane Seymour. So obviously the first week will be mainly be over on Catherine of Aragon. Then on the the second week we'll be finishing with Wolsey's End, so that'll still be on Anne Boleyn. Then I'll be going up to a conversation, which I don't know who. Oh, the latter queens. The last week will literally be on Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, Interlude, and Catherine Parr. But this one's also got loads of pictures, which look really good. And it's one that is just a very chunky book. It's literally about 800 pages, 700 to 800 pages. But I'm reading it over the course of the month, and I will be vlogging as I go along. So that's that one. Then I've got a couple of contemporaries to show you. I got some of these are the last books that were on my books to be read in the summer. Like I said, going forward, a video that will be coming up in August is going to be the books I want to read for the autumn. So that'll be for the 3 months of autumn. So it will be September, October, and November. So autumnally kind of books that I will think of, and then Christmas books will be December, January, February. So that will be wintry kind of cold books. This is one of the last ones. Karen Swan's books have been hit and miss a bit with me, but The Hidden Beach looks like a really brilliant one, and it's basically set in the picturesque Stockholm. But Belle Appleshaw is working as a nanny for the perfect family, Hannah and Max Mogert. The 9-year-old twins, 9-year-old Linus and 4-year-old twins, Elise and Tilde. One moment she's rushing on the school run, but Belle answers the phone and everything changes. A woman from the clinic asks her to pass on an urgent message that Hannah's husband is awake, but Belle is confused. Max left the house a few minutes earlier. Soon the truth comes tumbling out. Hannah's first husband fell into a coma 7 years earlier. Following an accident. Now he's awake and he wants his family back. This looks really good. It doesn't look as contemporary, kind of happy as I thought it was going to look. Then a book that I'm so excited about, because I found in a charity shop not long ago. It's this author's newest work, After the Rain by Lucy Dillon. First the Clouds, and I think I'm going to save this for the end of the month, because I'm guessing we'll get some rain, or whenever we get rain, you never know. First the Clouds, Tara Hunter is a therapist on a mission to restore Longhampton's community spirit after a catastrophic flooding. But her boyfriend going AWOL and her family fragmented, with only the cat to talk to, Tara's own life is crumbling. Then the storm. On top of everything, Tara's father, last seen as he walked out on her when she was 10 years old, is suddenly back with a surprising offer that could change everything. But after the rain, Dr. David Dalloway is Longhampton's new counsellor with an infuriating knack of reading people's minds. The last thing Tara needs right now, but he's charming, caring, and excellent at his job. Could this be Tara's chance for a new start, or is there a bigger storm on the horizon? Can't wait for that. Then we've got Beach Read by Emily Henry. I'm finally going to get to my first Emily Henry book, although I've been led to believe it's not as beachy as I'm expecting. And we all know about this one. It's January is a hopeless romantic who narrates the life she leads. She's led the lead in a blockbuster movie. Gus is a serious literary type who thinks true love is a fairy tale. But January and Gus have more in common than you think. They're both broke. They're having cripplers writer's block. So yeah, that one could be good. I'm hoping it's good. Now for the book that I am most looking forward to. I will be starting the month with this. It's a book that I was going to be able to read with Ange, but she's got a busy month, so I'm going to read it myself. Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead. It was my greatest booktube find in my charity shop, Baz Books. I got it for £2 when it is massive. It's nearly 600 pages. We all know about this book. It was on. I was hoping it would win the booktube prize. I think it's been nominated for so many awards. It's a book that my sister Charlie from Charlie Brooke loved, and it's one that, because it's about aeroplanes, my dad would, I've got to start on his birthday. I was born to be a wanderer. From the night she was rescued as a baby out of the flames of a sinking ship to the day she joins a pair of daredevil pilots looping and diving over the rugged forests of her childhood to the thrill of the Spitfires during the war. The life of Marion Graves has always been marked by lust for freedom and danger. In 1950, she embarks on a live stream to fly the great circle of the globe, but after a crash landing she finds herself stranded on the Antarctic ice without enough fuel. With a fearsome stretch of water separating her from her goal, she writes one last entry in her logbook. She's ready for her final journey. Half a century later, Hadley Baxter, a brilliant, troubled Hollywood starlet, is irresistibly drawn to play Marion Graves, a role which will lead her to probe the deepest mysteries of the vanished pilot's life. It is a gorgeous book. Oh my god, I hadn't even seen that. Look at that, that's my naked heart. Why is it with me reading hardbacks now? I'm like, what's happening to me? Is this really me we're talking about? Right, so it's my second hardback, and this is the second in the East End Angel series. I love this series, but I ended up paying half page cheaper money from I bought it on an ABU book site. Bought it from ABU Books, and this is it's set in London in 1941. It's about Frankie, Winnie and Bella, who were in the first of the East End Angels. And this is Frankie's grandfather is unwell and she promised she'd look after Ivy, her step-grandmother. Winnie's natural leadership skills put her at the forefront of the station, and then Bella is beginning to drive the ambulances and grows closer to James, while the love for writing is opening up doors for her. I don't want to know too much about this, but it is one I'm really looking forward to. God, I've got some chunky books again, haven't I? What is it with me, eh? Now I've got a bit of room to wiggle room, and a book that was also on my books to read in the summer, but one I'm really looking forward to. Enid Blyton is one of my favourite childhood authors, and this is, I think this has got the 3 different books. So I don't think this starts as differently. It's 500 odd pages, but it is all the stories of the Faraway Tree. So we've got the Enchanted Wood, the Magic Faraway Tree, and the Folk of Faraway Tree. This is a children's classic. It's one that I can't wait to read, and I don't need to tell you more about it. The Faraway Tree is a world I loved growing up, and it's one I can't wait to revisit and go back to. And I think for my children to read this in my children's summer holidays, even though they're bigger now, will be great. Then I got a book that I was late added onto the TBR. It was only added on not long ago, but I think it's like a mixture of contemporary and historical fiction. Homecoming by Luann Golding. My sister Charlie wants to borrow it, so I thought I'd better get it over and done with. And it's, for years, Yvonne tried to keep her demons buried and her focus on moving forward, but her guilt is always with her and it weighs heavily on her heart. Kiama has had to grow up without a mother, and while there is so much he remembers about her, there is plenty more he doesn't know, and there is only one person that can fill the gaps. When Kiama seeks out Yvonne out and asks her to come with him to Kenya, the place that holds the answers to his questions, she knows she can't refuse, and this one act sets in motion an unravelling of a past that no one is ready for. I loved Nightingale Point, which is the author's other work, but it did make me cry, and I'm expecting this one's going to make me cry. Then I jumped a bit. I wanted to get another series book finished in in August, so I read my other book, the previous book in this, Christmas in July, but I read the Christmas book in July so I could read this in August, and this is the most recent Jenny Colgan book, Sunrise by the Sea, and it's the last in the series, I believe. I don't know if she'll write any more in this series. When she's given the chance to opportunity to move to a remote tidal island off the Cornish coast, Marissa Rossi decides that some peace and quiet might be just what she needs. Since the death of her beloved grandfather, she's been struggling with the weight out of her grief. Perhaps this is the perfect place for her to recuperate. But Mount Polburn is a far cry from the sleepy little place she was imagining. Between the noisy piano-teaching neighbour and the hustle and bustle of the community, Marissa finds solitude is not always easy to come by, especially when she finds herself somehow involved with a tiny local bakery desperate in need of a new zest to save it. So this is the first book in the series that actually doesn't centre around the actual lead characters. So it's one that I cannot flipping wait for. And it is 350 odd pages, and I can't wait, and I don't know when I'm going to get to it. I might try and start off earlier than this month. I don't know. Then, as always, it was on my goal to read a thriller every month, and I'm going to read the latest one of the C.L. Taylor books. I've read Sleep by C.L. Taylor, and it petrified the crap out of me, but I wanted to read this one. I'm not going to read too much on the back because I like to not know too much about it. Jane Hughes is a loving partner and has a job in an animal sanctuary in a tiny cottage in rural Wales. She's happier than she's ever been, but life is a lie. Jane Hughes does not really exist. 5 years earlier, Jane and her then best friends went on holiday, but what should have been a trip of a lifetime rapidly descended into a nightmare that claimed the lives of 2 of the women. Jane has tried to put the past behind her, but someone knows the truth about what happened. Someone won't stop until they've destroyed Jane and everything she loves. I know your name's not really Jane Hughes. This looks good but petrifying. This is one, the next one is the one that's going to challenge me. I thought I could handle it because obviously COVID is supposed to be easing off, but we don't know what's going on with that, and there's more stuff happening at the moment, and I'm just a bit, but I wanted to get this over and done with. I think I have a habit when things get too much for me to duck my head in the sand and run away from it because things sometimes get too much. So I'm obviously still, I'll be honest with you, COVID is a trigger for me. It's something I don't discuss. It's something I will not discuss. If it's on social media, I will run away from it. I don't like talking about it on any of my group chats. I've told my friends, I've told work, it is not something that I'm happy to talk about. So that is, I will say this to you, it's a trigger. But I think for me, the nurses did jobs that were, all the frontline workers were working throughout all this, and the nurses saved lives. And the fact that my cousin is a nurse, not a senior one now, so he's not really doing it, but I wanted to read this, and I wanted to think that what I went through was nowhere near as bad as what these guys went through. And I'm still a key worker in the fact that I work with the NHS through optics. But I wanted to read this. I wanted to tackle one of the fears. So this is a nursery story, my life in A&E during the COVID crisis. So it's not a long book. It's one that could well trigger me. So I'm going to have a comfort book on standby to keep me going. But it's one I really wanted to read. And I'm going to try and face the fear and see if that helps me at all. Sometimes it does. And then last but not least, a new release that I've been waiting for. Bridget Kemner is one of my all-time favourite authors. This is the start of a new series that she's writing, Forging Silver into Stars, and it's got some of the Cursebreaker series in, some of the characters from the Cursebreaker series in it because it's set in the same place. It's got Jax and Kaylin are characters that are new to us, and we've obviously got Lord Tycho because Tycho was in the original series. Magic has been banished from the kingdom of Sile Shallow for as long as Jax can remember. Now times are changing and magic has returned in the form of the Mage Swift king on the throne, which is grey from the other books. But magic won't save Jax or his best friend Callin when the tax collector comes calling. Jax and Callin are desperate enough to take the stranger's silver to aid an anti-magical plot against the king, until Jax develops feelings for the king's courier, handsome Lord Tycho, a man determined to discover who is conspiring against the throne. A dark fate. Suddenly, Jax and Kaylin are embroiled in a world of shifting alliances, dangerous flirtations, and age-old magics, where the deepest loyalties will be tested. Can't wait. This one's going to get read early enough. So, yes, my TBR is big. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 kind of, I said it's like 17 or 18 books, so it's not massive, but it's quite big. But it's books that I am so excited about, and it's ones that I cannot wait to read. What books are you excited about? Let me know in the comments down below. Are there any books at least you think I should prioritise? Let me know down below, because I will. Obviously, like I said to you, The Great Circle is a definite read. It's not non-optional. It will be read at the start, but what other books should I read at the start? I'd love to know. And what books are you excited about? Let me know down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, bring on my ding-a-ling, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.